Hi, in this video, we're going to look at a new Cilium feature that came in Cilium 1.15, which is support for BGP communities. Now, BGP is a way to communicate between your Kubernetes cluster and the rest of your network, and to tell the rest of your network about the networks of your pods and the services in your cluster. And BGP communities is actually a long-standing feature of BGP, and it's a type of attributes. And BGP community is essentially some form of metadata, some way to tag the routes that you advertise to your neighbor, to tell your neighbors, some information about them, and maybe to influence some form of traffic engineering. So let's have a quick look in the demo, and let's start now. So first, I've built Cilium, a Cilium peering session, BGP peering session between Cilium and a top-of-rack device. And it's running, and the session is established. I'm actually using one of our labs for this demo. You can do it in your own time by going on isovalent.com/labs. We've got a number of BGP labs that teach you a number of different BGP features to use between Cilium and Kubernetes. So I've got BGP running. The session is established between my Cilium node, between my cluster, essentially, and the rest of my network. And we've advertised, as you can see, we are receiving one route and we're advertising a couple of routes. Now, that's great. What we now want to be able is to, as I mentioned, tag our routes and provide some kind of more information to our neighbors and add a community value to our prefixes. Now, if I look at, if I connect onto my neighbor and I can see the route that is sent from Cilium, that route here is essentially the pod CIDR, right? That's the IP range from which our pods in the cluster pick the IP addresses from, right? So has been sent, the neighbor has received it, all working great, and we can see it's coming from the Cilium node. But there's no community added to it. So let's do this now. And we're going to modify the Cilium BGP peering policy, which is where we configure BGP by using Cilium. So we are going to add community with this particular value, 65,001, 150. The community is the way they work in essentially a key value pair. And here we are only going to add this value to our pod CIDR, right? Which is why we get this selector type. Right? You could add different communities to the networks you advertise to your neighbor. Here we're going to now apply this peering policy. And I'm going to log back onto my remote device again. And you can see that the community has been added, right? So that's really simple, right? We just, it's a simple little feature has been added, but something that is very common in the, in the world of networking is support for communities. And again, it's used for traffic engineering. And one of the well-known community is something called no advertise or no export. And if you look back at the RFC 1998, you will actually see some references to these communities. So no export, no advertise. Again, there are common, well-known communities here. And let's apply the no advertise here. We're going to change community here. We're going to use this one instead. There you go. Let's reapply it. And what we did here is we use the no advertise. So no advertise, its hexadecimal value is FFFFFF02, which is essentially, if you break it down, it would be converted into this value here. Now, what we can then, once we apply it, as you can see, the remote side interpret it and realize this is the value that describes the no advertise, where a no advertise community, essentially you are telling your peer device, I'm sending you this route, but don't tell anybody else about it. Don't advertise it any further. So as we can see, my remote device has received the route, but it's not going to advertise it to any other peer, which is again is the intent of using the no advertise community. That's it for this demo of BGP community using Cilium. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.